It is episode number 74 of the River City Hardball podcast, brought to you by our friends at 925 Partners Insurance and Collins Builders here in Jacksonville. I'm your host, Andrew Gibson, where we talk baseball right here in the city of Jacksonville. And we're getting closer and closer to postseason action for these guys around the Jacksonville area. And I want to bring in a few guys from St. John's Country Day. The head coach is Tom Lucas, and one of his ace pitchers is Jace Thomas. Jace coming off a no-hitter last week against Yulee. Coach Lucas, great to have you back with us. How are you?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you getting us on. It's just been a long season, but we're looking forward to kind of the playoffs getting started here.
Jace Thomas, senior, going to Flagler College, going there in St. Augustine very soon. Jace coming off of a no-hitter, man. Tell me about that no-hitter for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was really special for me. Big thing I focused on in that game was just throwing first pitch strike and getting ahead, and then off that, trying to get weak contact and let my guys make a bunch of plays behind me, which is what happened. We made some really good plays. Jordan Taylor, he made a play in the first inning that probably he only makes. And then in the last inning, Tice Moore, third baseman, he came through a ball and he saved the no-hitter. It was the second out in the inning, but it was a really good play.
Yeah, and to throw a no-hitter, you certainly, Coach Lucas, have to have that defense backing you up, don't you?
Yeah, that's the key. I mean, there's usually a two or three plays in a game that could go either way, and he hit on two of them. Jordan ran down a ball in the gap that was hit really well, and then in the fifth inning, because we ended up run ruling them, they had a swinging bunt, and we're like, oh no. As soon as they hit it, it just looked like one of those, and Tice he attacked it and made a great play. And then actually we had subbed and put Jace's younger brother, who's a 10th grader on our team. He was at first base, and he made a really good stretch to stay on the bag, and it was a bang-bang play to preserve it.
Tom, tell me about this no-hitter. I mean, that no-hitters are always special. Tell me about this one.
Jace is one of those guys. He's a left-handed pitcher, and he's just blessed with natural movement. And at times he doesn't know what makes the ball do what it does. Like I tell people, he throws a snake. It is like his fastball is literally, just going all kinds of ways. Sometimes that's great, and then sometimes Jace just doesn't know what's making it do. Why is it going 18 inches to the left today? And so he really commanded the fastball and kind of dominated them with nothing but two-seam and four-seam fastballs of just working the ball in, then running two seams away from right-handed hitters. He just had really good command, pitched off his strengths, just kind of went after them, and they put a lot of weak contact. He's not a big strikeout guy. He's one of those guys that really induces contact early in the counts. And he's blessed on a team that has a really good defense behind him. And, he pitched to those strengths.
Jace, tell me about your pitch mix. Coach was telling us about the two-seam and the four-seam fastball. Tell us about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I try to dominate both sides of the plate. The two-seam would be like outside the righties and then bust the righties in with the four-seam. And then the two-seam was working really well. And it'd be moving like down and away, and then just getting like a lot of weak contact with that. And then I threw a couple breaking balls, and then a couple changeups too. Yeah.
Jace, what did it feel like when you completed that no-hitter?
It was a pretty special moment, really can't describe. It was just really special to do it. And I felt like it was really like team effort too, to be able to get it done. That was cool.
Was there anybody on the team that said something to you after the game that maybe stuck out to you in your mind?
I think just because it was we were talking about it, like we were talking about has anyone thrown one before, and then the only one before in our program history is by Troy Britt, and then he went on to play in college. So to me, that was pretty special to be like in the same category with him.
Tom, did you feel like at any point during the game, did you feel like it was no-hit type of game?
No, really, he had a perfect game going into the fourth, and we were up 10-0, and then I think he walked a kid And we had a big lead, and we're kind of towards the last couple weeks of the season. And so one of my jobs is to get other guys in. And Jace has pitched a lot. I mean, he's 5-1. He's got a lot of experience, but I brought up some JV kids, and I need to battle test those guys. So when we got up, 8 or 9 runs, I was looking to sub, and so I started subbing in defensive guys. But I can't sub him because he's got a no-hitter. He's got a perfect game going. But I had a plan to pitch this other kid. And so we're in the top half of the 5th, and I had told a 9th grader that I brought up, Trevor Bradley, that we're trying to groom into a closure role. I literally turned to him and I said, hey, I need you to get loose. If one guy gets a hit, you're going in. And something that you usually don't say, but I didn't. And I turned around and Jace is standing like right behind me. And I was like, oops, probably shouldn't have heard that. But, that was kind of the mindset. We were, just trying to go out there and, do our jobs, accomplish the mission. And I'll give Jace, he stayed in the moment. We looked at a clip beginning of the season because he had really struggled with his command. And it was Matheny talking, and how whenever he pitched, when he was with the Braves, how he really struggled and, had really good stuff, but they described him as like the worst pitcher in their organization. So that they got rid of him. He went to the Cardinals and had a struggle out there. And he made a commitment in one of the off seasons that every pitch he was going to throw, before he threw it, it was going to be like it was the 7th game of the World Series. And so I brought in the pitching staff and I showed him that clip and told him we got to do the same thing. And I've been able to tell with Jace, like he takes his time and just locks in on the glove before every pitch. He's been doing that all year, and he's had a great year. He's 5-1. Command has been great, and so that was really how we accomplished that mission on last week.
Jace, Coach mentioned the year that you're having, a very good one, 5-1 with a 1.88 ERA. Tell me about the kind of year that you're having so far.
Yeah, it's been a really good year so far. Like you said, been working on command. That was probably my biggest thing, is throwing like first pitch strike. And then just building off that, and then just staying like locked in, like you said, on like every pitch matters. And then like having intent with each pitch. And then big thing for me, just getting weak contact and let the defense work for me.
Tom Lucas, the head coach of St. John's Country Day, one of the better programs around the Jacksonville area here out of Orange Park. 16-6, Tom. You guys are closing in on the end of the regular season. You've got Bishop Kenny coming up tomorrow, and then Bowles to finish out the regular season. Tell me about this season for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been an up and down. I mean, the guys have learned some lessons. We've really challenged them this year. Being a 2A school, we've played one of the hardest schedules in the state. And really put a lot of stress on our team, playing 3 and 4 games a week, traveling up to Georgia and playing a tournament. We traveled down to IMG Academy, played a tournament. That tournament, we never saw an arm under 90 miles an hour. I think of the games we've played, of 22 games, we've seen 16 D1 arms this year. So we've really tried to set it up hard for our guys. So when what's about to come, they've been tested. I mean, there's not a moment they're going to get in right now that's going to be any bigger than what they've already been facing. So record, we've given a couple away, that we'd like to get back, but that's baseball. And we've learned from those lessons and I think we're on a 5-game winning streak now.
Yep.
So the guys are starting to play right, hit as well as we've hit last Thursday against St. Joe's, which is going to be one of our teams that we'll match up in the playoffs with. So I think it's starting to come on at the right time.
You guys have faced numerous teams that have some 90-plus mile-an-hour guys. You guys have a few of those yourself, too, on your baseball team, which is always nice to have as well. Tom, tell us, you mentioned the playoffs. Tell us about the playoffs upcoming. How have they changed the playoff structure this year?
Yeah, so with COVID, FHSAA has thrown out the ranking system. So they're going back to the old format. So the rankings will only be used to seed all the teams in their district. So we'll be the 1 seed in our district. There's 6 teams in it. And then from that, you've got either win your district or be the runner-up to advance. And so that's the big change. And that's going to affect some really good teams. that are out there that would have got in based off of having, a really good record as far as the wild cards. Those have all been thrown out. So you've got to make it to your district championship game. So the district semifinal game is really the big game, the must-have game. That means you're going to go to the playoffs. And then from that, it's 3 rounds. In 2A, we'll play a quarterfinal in week 1, and then the semifinals and the regional finals will both be in the same week in week 2.
Good stuff. Really hope to catch up with you guys as you progress into the postseason. As we let you guys go, Jace, you're going from Orange Park to St. Augustine in terms of high school to college. Tell me about Flagler. You're going there.
Yes, sir. So my recruitment, I kind of knew that's where I wanted to go. And then so I went to a couple of their camps. And then this summer, I had a good summer on the mound. And then at the end of the summer, I went down there and they offered me. And I just really like the coaching staff, number one, and then the school, and then like the location is pretty sweet too. So,
yeah, Flagler is a beautiful place, man. That place, it's an ancient, very historic place. And Coach Tom, it's cool to see him going to Flagler, isn't it?
Yeah, no, and he's earned everything he's got. He came over to our program, and probably 2 years ago, hit the weight room harder than anybody and became one of the strongest kids in our program and just transformed his body. Just looked night and day different 2 years ago. And I think last year we only played 8 games and he was 3-0. Then this year 5-1. So he's 8-1 in the last 2 years. And so he earns all the success. And real proud of him. I don't know if you know, like that, he's also my nephew. So I get to play a couple of different roles with him, being his coach and also his uncle. So it makes me pretty proud.
That's cool. I did not know that. What's that relationship like for you, Jace? That you're his nephew.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty special. I mean, that's like a one-of-a-kind relationship, and it's definitely made us really a lot closer, like being on the field together.
What about you, Tom? That's pretty neat.
Yeah, pretty neat. I didn't have any sons. I've got a daughter. And so Jace and his younger brother, Jacob, they've kind of, been really close to me, followed him in baseball and stuff like that. I've coached his younger brother a lot in travel baseball and not as much Jace except at St. John's. But it's tough, they get both sides of it, probably away from the field, they see a different side of me. And then on the field, I try to play it pretty even no matter who they are. Connor Moore accuses me of sometimes playing the blood favoritism on some of our team competitions. Today we had a competition going, and he said I was favoring Jace's younger brother in it because he was my nephew. But I'm pretty tough on just about everybody, so he gets that as well as everybody else.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Bradley Hodges, his brother, doesn't he go to Flagler?
Yes, sir.
Jack, right?
Jack Hodges, yeah.
Yeah, and they were really good friends, really close last year, and so that's probably been one of the natural pulls for Jace.
Yeah.
So, Jace, you're kind of close to Jack?
Yeah, we're really good friends. Mm-hmm.
Well, that'll be cool. That'll be a friend and a teammate that you can play with on the college level.
Mm-hmm. I'm really excited for that, yeah.
I bet you are. Jace Thomas coming off of a no-hitter against Yulee last Tuesday night. Improves to 5-1 with a 1.88 ERA. I remember Don Sutton, rest his soul, used to say them's high school numbers, and that's good stuff to see what he's doing right now. And Coach Tom Lucas, the head coach, wish you guys the best of luck. You got 2 regular season games remaining, and then the postseason lies ahead of you. Best of luck going forward, Tom. Thanks for the time.
Thanks for everything you do, Gibby. Appreciate it.